Marc Cucurella has been announced, which is great. We covered that in the preview. Do check that video out, which is just before the watch along that we had. And now the focus is all on Wesley Fofana. Everything is now going to be channeled to that particular player. So let's see what the latest is on this particular matter.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. We just had our first watch along. Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Arsenal beating Crystal Palace 2-0. But I felt like Crystal Palace probably deserved an equaliser somewhere in that second half. But eventually enough, Arsenal got that second goal, much vital second goal. I must say, Marc Guehi did not have a good game. Own goal later on, and he was getting terrorised at times by Gabriel Jesus, Saka, and the lot. But this is just the first match. We know what Marc Guehi was capable of last season, what he did last season. So I'm not going to have a slander towards him, much like what's going on in social media. But Arsenal kicks things off with a win. They've got a very favourable first few matches to start things off. So they could potentially be in a nice position after 4 or 5 matches if they continue picking up wins. And these are the matches where you don't play at your best and you end up getting a victory. I have to admit, they weren't playing at their best at all in that second half. Crystal Palace was all over them, but they squeezed themselves a victory. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We start our conversation from here. I'm in love with this guy, man. Everything about him that's been coming out from the Chelsea admin page is just been looking sensational. Here's a first look at our 2 men. Look at this. There's some rumors that he could potentially feature against Everton. I would find that crazy. I mean, he hasn't featured at all in the preseason for Brighton. So is he match fit? But he's as you can see, he's squeezed in a training session already today. Chukwuemeka as well has featured in the training session. I'm buzzing, man. I'm buzzing. If we get to see Cucurella tomorrow, I think it'll be fantastic. And even with Chukwuemeka as well, if we get to see both of the new players. But we gotta go out there and smash Everton, man. There's no two ways about that. Everton don't even have a striker. Look at these, Ruben and Raz. The vibes seem to be very good. Chilwell as well. If you missed out on the press conference, we talked a little bit about the press conference in the previous stream before the watch along. So do check that out. Look at this. Marc Cucurella announced by Chelsea Football Club. I love it. Okay. And that kit as well, that away kit. That looks brilliant, man. That looks fantastic. I'm going to have to get myself one of those for sure. Marc Cucurella's first Chelsea words. I'm really happy. It's a big opportunity to join one of the best clubs in the world, and I'm going to work hard to be happy here and help the team. Also, away kit revealed as expected. I mean, this guy is all about working hard, being honest, true, humble. For me, this guy, I think he's going to have a sensational time at Chelsea Football Club. Hopefully he has a sensational time at Chelsea Football Club, injury-free, wins trophies for us. This is, man, you know how much I wanted this guy from way back in January, earlier this year. And the fact that he's here with us, it's fantastic. And I can't wait till he gets going for Chelsea Football Club. But, ladies and gentlemen, next up, everything is about Wesley Fofana. But just before Wesley Fofana, just a quick note on Chukwuemeka now. The breakthrough in Carney Chukwuemeka moved to Chelsea came at a dinner in London where Bowley invited executives from 19 Premier League clubs. Bowley and Villa chief Christian Purslow sat together with Carney at the heart of the talks. People laugh. Even I laughed about the Premier League 19 execs having a meal together, a dinner together, having a good meal. Look at some of these meals transpiring into deals basically. So continue. Todd Bowley having these meals elsewhere, wherever you want to have it. If it means that we get players, why not? Endrick is next on Chelsea's wish list. Full story. Look at this. Endrick is a Brazilian wonder kid. And, we're not just focusing on now, we're focusing on the future as well. Omari Hutchinson, Endrick, Chukwuemeka, brilliant. Now, all focus on Wesley Fofana, ladies and gentlemen. This is, I personally think it will happen because Wesley Fofana wants it badly. And at the end of the day, Leicester needs to sell. Apparently now the conversation is that Maddison is going to sign a contract extension. As I expected, they're not going to lose every single one of their superstars. They will keep a few. There is a spanner into this situation. Ricardo Pereira has got injured and he could be out for 6 months. So now are they going to be keeping someone? Are they going to be letting go of someone like Fofana, knowing that there is, they need all the players that they can have available? But it also could mean that they could be forced to sell Fofana to raise funds so that they can bring in players. It's interesting. Look, we're looking at 80 million to break the bank. I personally don't think that's like the way I look at it is, yeah, he's a sensational player. Don't get me wrong. But after how many links later did we land on Wesley Fofana? Like we literally went through De Ligt. We went through Nathan Ake, Kim Pembe, Koulibaly, Vardio. So many different defenders that we've gone through until we landed on Wesley Fofana. Now we want to spend 80 million on this particular player. I mean, I could have understood if Thomas Tuchel's first choice was Wesley Fofana and he is hell-bent on spending that level of money. For me, the money factor is huge. But look, if Chelsea want to break the bank, no problems, man. This guy is for the future, as I keep saying, sensational talent. And one, potentially could be with Chelsea Football Club for years and years to come. And we're not always going to have Thiago Silva forever. We're not always going to have Azpilicueta with us forever. So there has to be a time where you start planning for the future. And once again, players like Chukwuemeka, players like Omari Hutchinson, all of these players will come into the frame. So from that perspective, is 80 million a bit of money to secure your future? Probably in long term, it doesn't look that bad. But I still think it's such a sizable amount of money. If we can offload a player to Leicester needs players. If we can give them, some of our players, there's now talks about Ethan Ampadu perhaps linked with him, and Ethan Ampadu doesn't even have a squad number. Maybe something to look into. Chelsea will be back with a new bid for Wesley Fofana. Chelsea will push again. Chelsea are obsessed with him. Obsessed, Fabrizio Romano on YouTube. Chelsea have bid over 70 million for Wesley Fofana. This is from Ben Jacobs. Todd Bowley means business. He's now Chelsea's number one target. So this is a player that we're going to go for. And I think we shouldn't be taking, we shouldn't mess about with this one because the Premier League season has started. So we don't want to wait too long until Leicester are now reliant on this player there. He becomes like one of the important players in the back three. They do play with the back three unless they change things up. So don't want the season to continue on for too long and Leicester's in a position where they don't want to sell this guy. It's understood Chelsea have signalled intention. They would be willing to pay over 70 million for Fofana. However, Leicester are holding out for over 80 million. This is what they want, 80 million. Because of the long contract that they have, obviously he's a superstar, young superstar. And because of the long contract, Chelsea may have to break the world record for a defender. See, that kind of stuff scares me, man. This is in regards to Ricardo Pereira, ladies and gentlemen. Leicester's Ricardo Pereira is out for 6 months with a ruptured Achilles, not having a good summer. This makes me, you can look at it in two ways. You can either think, well, they 100% have to buy, and the only way they can buy is if they sell Wesley Fofana and they can go and buy maybe 2-3 players with that money. Or it could be looked at in a different way, in the sense that, well, they will not sell Wesley Fofana anymore because they're short on numbers. So however you want to see it, it's up to you. But I think the next up is Wesley Fofana. And I mean, I know I said with Aspie signing a contract extension with us just yesterday for 2 more years, what happens? We feel like we have a lot of defenders now. Do you know what I mean? We've got Marc Cucurella, who can, as Thomas Tuchel said in the press conference, he can play wing back, he can play centre back. Same with Azpilicueta, he can play wing back, he can play centre back. So, and then you have Koulibaly, then you have Thiago Silva, then you have Chalobah. So there's a lot of options, but maybe it's time, as I keep saying, securing for the future. When a player like that comes around, maybe you need to snap him up. You look at what Arsenal's doing with Saliba. Saliba and Fofana played together in Saint Etienne. So Fofana gives me proper defender vibe, man. Much like in that stature of Saliba. So, we saw what Saliba just did against Crystal Palace. He was brilliant defending, brilliant defender. And I think, someone like Wesley Fofana, if there's an opportunity, maybe we have to go for it. Last up, ladies and gentlemen, is in regards to Timo Werner, is very close to joining Red Bull Leipzig. Jan Age Foytoft, when it comes to Bundesliga news, Jan Age Foytoft knows his stuff. Look, this is a good move for Timo Werner. He needs to move on to Red Bull Leipzig. It's familiar grounds for him as well. Potentially, there's apparently going to be some wage cuts that he's willing to take. His future at Chelsea Football Club is done. So, look, with him gone and Lukaku gone, we have to get a striker. And the way Thomas Tuchel talked a little bit about Aubameyang in the press conference, he just felt like maybe something is brewing there. They asked him about 79 goals that Aubameyang scored under Thomas Tuchel, and Thomas Tuchel said, I'll take that 79 goals now, which is interesting. And there was a few other things I just want to quickly showcase. There was another thing from PYS tweeted out where Thomas Tuchel states that, he wants quality. Yeah, look at this. No, not that one. Yep. Let me showcase this to you. Internally, Tuchel has asked for world-class players only. He criticizes there's too much average in his squad. This is from Florian Plettenberg. I mean, there is a lot of average. There is a lot of average in our team. There's no doubt about that. And the latest is in regards to this. They want more. They want Fofana. They are considering a move for De Jong. There's interest in Aubameyang. I think in time they will bring in sporting director. I can tell you their first choice is Michael Edwards, but it's unsure if he wants to go from them. This is from David Ornstein, the Orni. When the Orni says, there's a lot of truth behind it. So De Jong, Aubameyang, Fofana, and Michael Edwards. We'll see what happens with Michael Edwards down the track. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm buzzing. I can't wait for the season to kick things off for us against Everton. We need to start picking up these points. Obviously, Arsenal goes off with a win. We need to start off with a win, and we'll see what happens with the rest of the Premier League. Still a lot of business that we need to do. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know how you feel with all the latest that's been going around. Hope you've enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. We shall see you guys with the watch along tomorrow for the Chelsea game. Until next time. See ya.